let's switch gears. Let's stay here in Charlotte because it's been a week here, guys. It's been a week. I just read a statement from Dr. Hill regarding CMS. We'll shift over to politics because it has definitely been a week. I mean, you think about it like this. One, Charlotte is still trying to find its interim mayor. Mayor Vilaus, her term is up in a couple of weeks, or not say, excuse me, her term is not up in a couple of weeks. She's resigning in a couple of weeks. Excuse me, she's resigning in a couple of weeks. And also I-77. Julie K, we thought it was...
That's all? Just...
I-77,
yeah.
The toll lane project, I-77 South toll lane project. We thought it was done-ish, but the conversation
keeps coming up.
It keeps growing and bearing fruit. So
haunting me.
Yeah. Well, okay. And I say all of these topics because Flashpoint, Sundays, 11 a.m. Don't want to miss it. Ben Thompson, Julie K, Ben Thompson. They have an important episode.
There's a lot going on.
A lot going on.
We keep trying to do stuff that's not the city of Charlotte because, of course, like I mean, we want to cover both states. Like, I mean, but they just stuff keeps happening.
It keeps you busy, Julie.
It keeps us busy. And so we spoke with Councilman Ed Driggs this week, who really is an interesting point in this whole conversation because he is probably the most involved in I-77 just because he's the CRTPO representative. Mm-hmm. And so he's the one that has to go represent the city of Charlotte to the board that really makes all these decisions. But he's also probably the one with the least power when it comes to the mayoral stuff because he's the only Republican on the entire council. And so his kind of position, we'll start with the mayor stuff, is saying, I hope my Democratic counterparts come to a consensus. I will support whatever that is. I as in if I'm Ed Driggs, I'm not sure that is what has happened thus far. We've got 5 candidates left. We've got former city councilman Harold Cogdell. We've got current state senator Caleb Tedros.
Yep.
We've got current mayor pro tem James Mitchell. We've got Carrie Cook, who's a financial executive. And we've got Robert Harrington, who is the current president of the NC Bar Association. So he's an attorney.
I just want to say, guys, no notes with those names. She came off.
She knew all of them.
She knew all of them. No notes. I just wanted to point that out.
Thank you.
No notes.
Because I've been doing this every day.
You have.
For weeks. But that is if you asked me to name the 114 people that initially applied, I couldn't do that.
Yeah,
We've come a long way since that initial application period. But even when I was here a couple of days ago, Monday is when they even decided we were going to do these final interviews on Thursday to get us to these 5 people. And this was the first time we had a lengthy amount of time, 30 minutes with each person, to talk about, their goals as interim mayor. Again, almost 18 months left of Mayor Lyle's term, so this is not an insignificant amount of time that they would have to fill in, and some very important things going on. One of the questions was about, what are your thoughts on I-77? There was a lot of discussion about how are you going to get this council to cooperate, acknowledging we as the council have been going through a lot recently.
Yeah.
This has been a tumultuous term. And so these are all sorts of questions that, Councilman Driggs said didn't necessarily change his opinion a ton, but he reaffirmed some points he wanted to see from different people. And so from his perspective, he wasn't willing to make any endorsement right now, and he said a lot of people aren't willing to do so, especially because we have not heard yet who the Black Political Caucus wants to endorse. And so that's obviously going to have a huge sway on how some people will want to move forward. But it's an interesting field right now. He mentioned,
does he know when that endorsement? Obviously he's not a part of the Black Political Caucus, but does he have a timeline of when we would get that endorsement?
I actually thought we were supposed to hear about it this past Tuesday.
Okay. We were supposed to hear about it this
delayed.
week.
Yeah. But also at the same time, though, council just keep adding steps to the process because originally, as of this past Monday, there wasn't that Thursday, final interview process on the calendar, and so it's possible that is what caused the endorsement to be delayed. You don't want to make an endorsement before you have all the information that you're going to be able to get.
Right.
And so curious to see what that is. I think that'll have a big impact. And then they're going to do on Monday. They have to come to a conclusion because that's the day that they decided that they're going to decide. They're going to do a ballot process again where they have, they write the name down they want. If one person gets 6 votes, there's 11 people on council who can vote. If a candidate gets 6 votes, they win. if no one gets 6 votes, let's say you got, a candidate that gets 5 votes, and then you've got a candidate that gets, the next one is 3 and 3.
Yeah.
They have to do a runoff to see who's going to be the second person, and then a runoff again once they determine that second person to determine, so it's a whole thing. But regardless, even if someone has the most votes, say it's 5, 4, and 2, 5 doesn't automatically win. There's going to be runoffs. So it's going to be a long night.
Are you prepared for that now?
I'm actually out of town. I'm so sorry to whoever has to cover that in my place.
That's fair.
Yes, but then there's also the element of I-77 as well, which is resurfacing. So it's a busy couple weeks for Charlotte.
Oh, Julie, a busy couple of weeks, and Julie will be on vacation, so it's okay.
So sorry, everybody. I took one day off, and that happened to be the day that Juice the Bear.
All right, again, Flashpoint. This will be a part of that Flashpoint episode. Julie will have a preview later, but Flashpoint Sundays at 11 a.m. Julie, when can they get that preview?
5 and 6 today.
5 and 6 o'clock. You don't want to miss it. As always, Julie K, covering all things politics. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you.